Robert Liston, born on the 28th of October 1794 in West Lothian, Scotland, was a brilliant Scottish surgeon, whose impact on the field of medicine and surgery is still felt today. His remarkable surgical skills and contributions during his time earned him the reputation as one of the greatest surgeons in history. Whilst he will never be forgotten for his pioneering surgical spirit and modernising, modern medicine in Europe, he's also known for something else. He's known as having the highest kill streak during the same operation. Yes, today we talk about the life of Dr. Liston and the very small part of his life where he managed to get a 300% mortality rate in a single operation. Dr. Liston's journey to becoming a prominent surgeon began at the University of Edinburgh, where he pursued a medical education under the tutelage of some of the most respected medical practitioners of his era. After completing his studies, he quickly gained recognition for his surgical talents, earning him a prestigious position as a Professor of Surgery at the University of Edinburgh. Later, he took up the same position at the University College London. One of Dr. Liston's biggest achievements during his career was being the first and pioneering surgeon to use anaesthetic during an operation, which was a success, which also cemented him in history as someone who was quite influential in the field. However, that doesn't mean that you can't always get the job right, and that is something we will go into very shortly, but we need to build our way up from here. This groundbreaking practice dramatically reduced patient pain and made complex surgeries more feasible. Dr. Liston's adoption of anaesthesia was an important step towards the acceptance and widespread use of anaesthesia in European surgery, transforming the way operations were conducted and leading to significant advancements in the field. Despite his innovative techniques and remarkable surgical skills, Robert Liston was also known for his incredible speed and dexterity in the operating theatre. Maybe he was trying to speedrun surgery, get patients in and out as quickly as possible. Hey, time's money, people. He's known to be so fast, in fact, that on one occasion he did an operation in 5 minutes. 5 bloody minutes. I would have basically not even got my gloves on by that point, but this guy was done. Crazy. You know what? Some jobs are better done with speed. Others, such as an operation, I would rather that they take their time with it. Dr. Liston was so quick in his operations, in fact, they actually garnered quite a crowd because of how impressive this feat was. He would even go on record on some occasions of having an audience with him ready when he performed, and he held his knife up in the air and simply said, "Gentlemen, time me." And, he went on away. Look, don't get me wrong, I know that I'm building up to something truly terrible, but despite the fact that he was incredibly quick in his operations, he was incredibly precise. Known as having the fastest hand in the West End, he was a truly remarkable surgeon. And yes, in comparison to some of his colleagues, most surgeons would lose 1 in 4 patients during this time. Dr. Liston lost 1 in 10. So the rate of survival for his patients was much higher across the board, except for a few rare cases, which we will get onto. And look, for the 1700s, I'll take those odds. Whilst this attribute impressed many, it sometimes led to an unfortunate accident during surgeries. One infamous incident that exemplifies Liston's extraordinary speed occurred during what was later referred to as the only operation which had a 300% mortality rate. During a particularly complex surgery, Liston was operating with his usual swiftness. However, in his haste, he accidentally amputated the fingers of his surgical assistant who was handing him the surgical instruments. What? How the hell does that happen? I mean, sure, you can be quickly going about doing your business, but you must be pretty fast to quickly come round and chop someone's fingers off. Either the knife is really sharp, or you are just incredibly foolish with it. These blades were so sharp that cutting flesh was like butter, but this guy must have been either incredibly clumsy, or perhaps his assistants were just too slow for the amputation wizard. Either way, they probably weren't paid enough for their job. To add to the chaos, his swift movements inadvertently swung the knife back up as it clipped a spectator's coattails. As if these mishaps weren't unfortunate enough, the patient eventually succumbed to post-operative infection. The patient and Liston's assistant both died after the wounds became infected, and the spectator who collapsed was later discovered to have died of fright. Subsequently making this an operation with a tragic and unprecedented 300% mortality rate. Whilst it's incredibly sad, is actually quite impressive. Somehow he'd managed to kill 3 people in one fell swoop. I think people that were genuinely trying to kill 3 people in one fell swoop would find it very difficult compared to what Dr. Liston had done, so I don't think he meant to, but it's impressive nonetheless. So, was he a good surgeon? Well, he was talented, I'll give you that. But was he a good surgeon? Well, before you make your mind up, I have a few more incidents about Dr. Liston that I need to make you aware of. Whilst amputating another patient's leg, he broke his personal record by finishing the surgery in 2.5 minutes. Wow, pretty impressive stuff, Doctor. However, in the interest of speed, he accidentally chopped off the patient's sack along with his leg. Every man watching this video has all instantaneously just crossed their legs in one fell swoop. Yeah, Dr. Liston ain't coming anywhere near me. On another occasion, he mistook a lump in a young boy's neck for a skin tag and removed it. If he wasn't so hasty, he might have perhaps realised that this wasn't a skin tag at all, but the lump turned out to be an aneurysm of his carotid artery, and the boy died shortly afterwards. So, like I said, was he a good surgeon? So, whilst his actual surgery is rather questionable, the real magnum opus of his career was the fact that he was the first surgeon to use anaesthesia successfully in Europe, so that kind of overshadows the mass murder that he's been involved with. You know, mass murder. The amputation incident became a tale of caution amongst the medical community, highlighting the importance of balancing speed with precision during surgeries. It emphasised that surgical procedures require not only skill, but also careful attention to every aspect of patient care. Whilst the incident showcased Liston's extraordinary surgical talents, it also underlined the need for surgeons to prioritise patient safety and well-being over the speed and spectacle that Dr. Liston was so well known for. Despite this infamous occurrence, Robert Liston's contributions to medicine and surgery were undeniable. Beyond his pioneering use of anaesthesia, Liston was also an advocate for the importance of hygiene in the surgical environment. He recognised that infections were a significant cause of surgical mortality and emphasised the need for cleanliness and aseptic practices to minimise these risks. As Liston's career progressed, he faced personal struggles, including his declining health, his battles with depression, and on the 7th of December 1847, he tragically took his own life. So, for all of the above, this guy is pretty well known, not only for his achievements in the field of medical science, but also for these other incidents which make you scratch your head and think, was he really the right guy for the job? Maybe. But let me put it this way, if I had someone that had a knife and he said, "Gentlemen, time me," I would probably get out of there, go to the doctor next door, and let them have a go instead. If you guys like that video, here's another one just like it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Fantastic.